Hello, everyone. It's Chrissy and Tanner back again, just like we are every single Tuesday. And we are here coming to you from Common Sense Education. Please come and check us out for all of our amazing resources that can help you get to winter break. And now, today, Tanner is about to tell us about a really cool tool that you might want to explore with your students. Tanner, what is that?
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the National Museum of the American Indian, which you can go to at that web address. This is part of the Smithsonian Institution. And we recently published a review of this website. The first thing that might stick out is that we gave this a 3-star rating. Now, that is still a good rating. That is still a tool that we would recommend. And this is definitely a case where we would recommend this tool. We absolutely think anyone who wants to teach about Native peoples in the Americas or, whether North America, South America, or wherever, this is the place to go. The problem is, as a museum institution and a site dedicated to supporting the museum, it's not necessarily the greatest experience for classrooms. I think they've got a way to go, but it's still adaptable. So let's take a look, and I can kind of point out the really extraordinary things about it, but also some of the drawbacks for teachers. Like any museum website, and this is a museum with 2 locations in DC and New York, you can explore the exhibitions, and they do have online exhibitions you might want to check out, and these tend to be pretty good. They all have custom websites that accompany them that may be good kind of independent learning experiences for students to dig into different topics. I think the design of them all is really engaging and interesting, but like with everything on this site, while they have resources that span all grades, in our review, the reviewer felt strongly that this is a site best tuned to grades 7 through 12. You can age down some of these resources and adapt them, but as they're really hitting on this grade level and this level of understanding. So that's one thing to be aware of. So there are these online exhibitions. They are definitely worth checking out and could be their own independent experiences. There's also a collection search here of objects and artifacts in the museum's collection. These are really cool. One thing that kind of bothers me is you have to first enter a search term to then get the filters. And the filters are actually pretty good. See on the side here, you can filter by people or culture, region, object type. And these offer excellent illustration for some of your lessons or units. I think you'll probably be able to find some of these artifacts that you can toss in a slideshow or even let students loose trying to find some examples that fit lessons you might be teaching. They also have archival documents, research materials, this kind of thing for in the upper grades. If you want to do some primary research, have that. So there is this collection search, but this is all a preamble to what is the true educational experience here. So if you see when you're on the website, if you go over to the education tab, I would recommend clicking into this Native Knowledge 360. That will get you to all of the resources that they've designed specifically for classroom educational purposes, whereas the other resources are more about highlighting what's going on in the museum and the museum collection. So they have a nice site here with a bunch of different things. I'll point you first to, they do have professional development webinars for teachers. These are all free and you register for them. And I believe they do them through Zoom. They also have student programs. So they have student webinars. Here's some example of recorded webinars. This, like I mentioned earlier, these tend to be for, I would say, an older audience. These will work best for a high school audience. And they tend to be discussions on topics featuring a lot of members of tribes and nations speaking about their experiences and their perspectives, which is really nice. But they do tend to be pretty complex and pretty high level, but they're still pretty interesting. There are, however, these virtual field trips right here that I feel like fit much better with younger audiences. And these you can sign up for. You can see that they've kind of tuned them to different grade levels. We do think that these tend to really match well with the grade levels. They often feature, arts and crafts, that kind of thing. I did notice, though, if you go to the registration and if you can kind of see there, like they're all full. So this is one of those things you want to plan early for.
And these are live hosted events.
Yeah. Okay. These are live. These are really cool, though, I think. We didn't get a chance to watch any of them, but they seem really great. They seem like they cover a lot of different interesting topics. Like here's a great one about math and Mayan culture. I think that would be really interesting. Maybe even some that fit with your region. But then there's also this under lessons and resources. The Native Knowledge 360 has this really great database of digital materials, lessons, activities, posters. And I think, to me, the standout here is these filters. You can filter. There are some Spanish resources. You can filter by nation here. You can filter by region, which is great. I happen to be in the Great Lakes. You can just filter by Great Lakes resources. Grades, but of course the grades, you're going to have to do some adaptation. You can see here the different sort of formats of things they offer. Topics. There's great things for Thanksgiving, particularly. We shouldn't only be teaching about these issues during Thanksgiving, but if you do, every school is probably going to address Thanksgiving in some way. We found these resources, this one in particular right here, Rethinking Thanksgiving, is awesome. Really, really impressive, valuable, important stuff to be doing is bringing in Native perspectives on Thanksgiving and really enriching the celebration through Native traditions. But then there's this, which I found really compelling. They have this essentials understanding set of filters that sort of breaks down Native culture into topics like time, continuity, and change, power and governance, and allows you to kind of explore what makes up different Native cultures and like the core concepts and ideas involved in the lessons. I think this is it's such a cool way to approach this. So these resources, they're great. As I said, like you're going to get a lot of use out of those resources, but they are going to require some adaptation, I think. One other thing I did want to point people to is this other site. So you can search by your region, but you can also search by nation. And one thing you may want to do as a teacher is go to this site, native-land.ca. And what you can do is you can find the nations or tribes that are in your region, right? So we want to, let's say San Francisco, do that, journey over. And then you can see, as I'm highlighting the region here, it will surface some of the nations that, originally populated your land. And you can then use this in conjunction with this database to find resources that connect with your specific region, which I think would be a really cool lesson.
Yeah. And that alone, I mean, that the second resource you shared is really great, just to show students the people who inhabited the lands that we're all on currently.
Yeah. That's a great conversation starter, I think, that website. Now, they do offer a disclaimer that says, like, it's a work in progress. They're constantly refining it. So you do kind of have to acknowledge that when you look at it, but it's a great starting point, I think, to just recognize and, maybe do a little land acknowledgement in your class.
Excellent. And we actually have a new article up on the site that's all holiday related resources, lots of different holidays coming from all different backgrounds. And you included this resource in that article.
I did. Let me see. I might be able to pull it up really quickly here. Yeah, here we go.
So if you are looking for some ideas for some more inclusive winter holiday resources, it might be a good thing to check out. Well, thank you very much, Tanner. And as always, we are here for you. We'll be back again next Tuesday. And come check us out at Common Sense Education. See all the things we have to offer. And you're doing great. Thanks for watching.